Before you know it, everything will come together far greater than you can imagine right now. So keep going, my friend, and keep raising your energy to stay aligned with your vision. Each day that you get just a little bit better mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, know that you are winning. Your focus and consistent daily effort to better yourself is generating a wave of positive momentum, and that's what keeps you going. So maybe you've come across this video today because of number 333, and I have an important reason why this is like that. So firstly, number 3 is associated with the process of everything. Everything starts, then it needs to keep going, and then it ends. That's the process. So each cycle has a process to it, and each cycle is made out of 4 different phases. The first one is the planting season, then the second one is the growing season, the third one is the blooming season, and the fourth one is the dying season, the ending season. And all these cycles need a process. That's why number 3 is so important. When we put 333 together, we get number 9. And number 9 is associated usually with a release of what no longer serves us, usually complexity, so we can focus on a greater simplicity. It's also associated with forgiveness and moving forward towards a higher and deeper understanding. So I've made this video because a huge cycle for many of us is ending. And I mean really huge cycle. You may recognize in your life that maybe for the last 2 or 3 years you've been doing something that was really big for you, really important. Maybe it was a certain career or part of your career or your job or certain relationship. But this cycle is coming to a certain fruition that is leading you into a new one, into a next stage. It's like you would be on a stage 3 and now you're going into a stage 4. And as all stages work like that, what you've learned in the stage 1 will help you in the stage 2 to get into the stage 3. And in the stage 3, you will need what you've learned in the stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 to get into the stage 4, right? So this is a really important chapter of our lives, the transition phase, and I want to give you a few reminders that will help you to embrace this transition as something truly important is happening for many of us. So if you feel any of that already resonating with you, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and drop a comment down below of gratitude if any of that resonates with you. Also, thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community for exclusive content. Thank you so much. So the first reminder I want to give you right at this phase is to embrace the flow of life. And I know you've heard this before, but Lao Tzu said something truly beautiful. He said, life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. So if we understand that life is dynamic, filled with natural changes, resisting only leads to sorrow. Instead, allow things to unfold as they may. When something breaks down, its pieces can be used to shape up a new sculpture that will be bigger and better. And that is so true. So recognize, sure, have a vision of something, have goals for whatever you're working on, but also allow this other part that is unknown, being open for the unknown, allowing for life to guide you. When you don't know what to do, when you don't know how to get to where you want to be, allow unknown to unfold for you. Don't force it to happen. Sometimes we are in the stages where we know exactly what to do, and at those times we just need to be disciplined and we need to take huge amount of action. But usually at phases like this one right now, we are at a phase where we just need to allow time for things to unfold. So we need to be patient and we need to allow things to happen, to embrace the flow of life. So just be patient with yourself and meditate more frequently. Maybe journal a bit more, reflect on what you've learned, because as I said before, what you've learned in this stage, you will need in the next one to level up, to ascend. The second reminder I want to give you is to release the need for control. Release the need for control by letting it go, as Lao Tzu said, the ancient Chinese philosopher. By letting it go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go. But when you try and try, the world is beyond winning. So success comes not from holding tight, but from letting go. Winning in life belongs to those who navigate the world's natural currents and allow change to bless them rather than suppress them. Isn't that so? Life is happening always. But when we see something that maybe we didn't want it to happen, we can be touched by that, we can be stressed by that. And sure, we can suppress all of that and play a victim, or we can see it as something that is blessing us, like you're ready to level up. Can you see everything that's happening right now as something that is teaching you to level up? Something to create your life even more sustainable. Because if you observe the nature, you soon recognize that nature doesn't support unsustainability. So whatever kind of a lifestyle you create, nature will always naturally kind of push you towards the direction of the least resistance, because that's how nature is working. If you see the river, it's flowing in the path of least resistance, but still it can shape rocks. That's how powerful this path is. But when we start resisting to it, we start creating tension. That's when we stop being intentional and we become in tension, right? And I just want to remind you to look at these changes that are occurring in your life as blessings. So we can use pieces of what's breaking down to shape a new sculpture that will be bigger and better. So release the need for control. I know it's not an easy thing, but that's what we are learning here to do. Know that you can only do what you can do. Everything else, release it to nature, release it to life, and it will all unfold as it should. Everything is as it's supposed to happen. The third reminder is to surrender to the present moment. Lao Tzu said, once again, he said, if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you are anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you're living in the present. So it means that your emotional state reflects your temporal focus. Be present. Avoid dwelling in or on the past or worrying about too many optional choices for the future to find peace. And I know you've heard this before, but I just want to remind you, have a great plan. If you have a great plan, it will allow you to take action when you do and surrender when you're done. By having a good plan, it will also inspire you to focus on growth instead of the past, which will take you from depression to expression. And that is so powerful. When you focus, when you have a good plan, when you know what you want to do with your life, doesn't matter where you are. Maybe you want to shape your body a little bit, to get six-pack. Maybe you want to build your business. Maybe you want to change your job. Whatever it is, have a plan. Even if it's just one goal, follow it, and you will see that if you find yourself being depressed, your depression will start decreasing. Because you will recognize that you've been living so much in your past that your thoughts and your emotions and your beingness was in the past. But because you're living in the now, if mentally, emotionally, and spiritually you've been in the past, there was no effort here. There was no force here. Basically, you've been living in the past, and that's why you've become a bit depressed, like you are lacking life. And when you have some goals and dreams and visions, it will be much easier for you to know what you need to do. So to be present then means that you know when to take action and when to just rest and be. So as I said, by having a good plan, it will also inspire you to focus on growth instead of the past, which will take you from depression to expression, because each work we do, each act we do is our expression. It's how we are expressing ourselves. And it all can be done only in the now, one step at a time. Isn't that how we experience the present moment, one step at a time? If we focus on something in the future, it may feel so far away that it becomes overwhelming. But if we know what can be each tiny little step, each tiny little link that connects us with that future, then that future is not overwhelming anymore, because we know that all I need to do is this tiny little step right now, in this present moment. And then I can reflect, did I did it right? Can I change something here? Do I need some more knowledge? Do I need to learn something here? But make sure you keep moving forward, one step at a time, being in the present moment. The next reminder I want to give you is to trust the process of nature, especially right now, as you're in this phase of transition. As Lao Tzu said, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Have you noticed that trees, they're not hurrying growing up. River is not hurrying reaching the ocean. And yet everything is accomplished. It just reminding you that everything will come to fruition in your life. Everything you're working on, it will come to fruition. Maybe not when you want, but when the time is right. And time always works on divine watch, right? There, you're not controlling it. There's just a greater force that's taking care of everything. So nature's pace is deliberate, yet it achieves everything. Patience and trust in the unfolding of events produces accomplishment. And because you are the nature, your body is made out of same elements as nature. Therefore, you have your own timing, the same as everything in nature. And your soul is the part of the spiritual nature, which has its own timing as well. Know that planting, growing, blooming, and dying is all part of this natural cycles of time. By trusting the process of these natural cycles, synchronicities will remind you that life hasn't forgotten about you. Everything takes its time. So stay perceptive rather than deceptive. This is an important reminder because I know often, because of our attachment to outcome, we want things to happen really, really fast because we are scared that if it will not happen, the worst case scenario may happen. But even if the worst case scenario may happen, you're still supported by the force of life, so you are never forgotten by life. I just want to remind you of that because I know a part of you feels that. I know that a part of you resonates with that, and I want you to tap into this part of you that resonates with that and acknowledge it so you can feel at peace with everything that's happening because you're supported, you're guided, and everything is already taken care of. As long as you're not saying no to your greatness, not saying no to your intuitive calling of the soul, everything is taken care of. When you start putting your intuitive voice aside, it's like you start creating resistance. You're saying no to the natural frequency of life, and that's when life starts kind of giving you certain signs that it's time to move on. So remind yourself to trust the process of nature. The next reminder I want to give you for right now is to cultivate inner stillness. Lao Tzu said, "Stillness is a source of greater strength." So, my friend, do you feel that? In the quiet, strength emerges because mind is not being distracted by impulses, and therefore you can use its clarity to see things as they are and respond accordingly. If clarity radiates peace, clear observation radiates gratitude. So practice stillness, my friend. Make sure that you have your days well organized so you can find time for practices of stillness, for mindfulness, for meditation, for some yoga nidra maybe, or some yoga. Whatever helps you to be in stillness, to be in quietness, to find the strength of quietness so you can see things clearly. Because I know for myself, when I tap into my clarity, I see why something is happening the way it is happening, what it is supporting its momentum, and how to stop it in case I don't like it anymore. How to get into this greater flow of nature, where I will be less in resistance and more in flow state. And in that quietness, in stillness, we all find answers. The next reminder for you right now is to let go of expectations, another timeless wisdom. As Lao Tzu said, care about what other people think and you will always be their prisoner. Isn't that true? Liberation comes when you break free from the prison of others' opinions. Care less about expectations and you will find freedom. May the focus be generosity of being, doing, and giving. May you devote all of yourself to these three pillars and you will be fine. So, generosity of being, doing, and giving, that's what you should focus on. Being means being right here, being present, being at peace, resting, rejuvenating, working out, taking care of yourself, eating, nurturing yourself. That's being. Then you have doing, expressing yourself, being there for others, taking care of others, doing your job, whatever it is. And then giving support, giving help, giving advices, giving your whatever you're giving, your services, whatever it is. If you focus on that, you will forget about others' opinions about you. You will recognize it doesn't matter anyway. I'm here to be my best self for myself and for others. That's what I'm here for. That's how we practice non-attachment. You're not doing the work to get results. You're doing the work because doing the work feels so great. That's why you're doing the work. So if you're doing the work that doesn't feel so great, then you're doing the wrong work. You should do something that feels great, something that feels joyful, something that sparks passion within you, something that sparks purpose within you. If you're not doing that, you're doing the wrong thing. And I want to remind you, focus on something that will spark excitement, curiosity, purpose, passion, because that's what will inspire you to become better at it. And when you notice that you're becoming better at it, what starts happening, your brain starts producing dopamine. And dopamine is like this molecule of satisfaction. And when you notice that you're becoming better at doing something you like to do, and your brain starts producing dopamine, it will give a signal to your body that you want to do more of it. And when you start doing more of it, you start becoming better at it. And when you start getting better at it, you want to do more of it. And that's what creates flow state. That is flow state. And that is what leads to mastery. And we're only doing it because we are recognizing better I become at it, better I can serve others with it, whatever is that thing. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you will experience an incredible flow state with it. As you become better, you will notice that life is just leading you towards the direction of service. And that is something why you've come here at the first place. And the last reminder I want to give you is to trust your inner wisdom. Trust your inner wisdom. Lao Tzu said, "He who does not trust enough will not be trusted." So when people don't trust you, it's because you don't trust yourself. You don't trust life. And when you start trusting yourself more, people will be trusting you because you start behaving differently. Your body language changes, your facial expression changes, your aura changes, your etheric body changes, and you are felt differently. And the main lesson is that trust generates trust. So when people are wondering, how can I trust? I've been hurt so many times before. Well, change the program. Change the program. If you've been hurt so many times before, then train yourself to love more often. Train yourself to love more often, because love generates love. Fear generates fear. Hate generates hate. And trust generates trust. To trust yourself, set something you want to do and then do it. And the next day, set something you want to do and then do it. And you will start trusting your own ideas. Well, if I set something for myself, I will do it. And because I did it, I see results. And because of that, I trust into myself even more. So those who doubt lack the trust needed in themselves and from others, and therefore only get as far as their environment expects them to be. Do you feel that? Those who doubt lack the trust needed in themselves and from others, and therefore only get as far as their environment expects them to be. I want you to be a transformer of your environment, not a barrier of its limits. Be a transformer of your environment. So wherever you've been planted, my friend, cultivate that garden. Wherever you are, cultivate that garden. Maybe maybe nobody is taking care of it, and therefore everyone is just a barrier of its limits. You may recognize nobody is rich around me. Let's raise the standards of that. I will become rich here. I will become a millionaire here. So I can raise the standards here and maybe inspire someone to do something like that as well. If you find yourself, everybody around you is depressed, then I will become the source of joy here. I will cultivate the ground here to plant some joyful seeds. So other people can experience maybe some inspiration to look through the lens of more colorful perspective, to be more present and see a brighter future. Wherever you've been planted there for a reason. And you need to know that. And I know you know that. There's a part of you that knows that. You just spend more time in fearful part of you. And I want to remind you to draw yourself back into this part of you that resonates with this message and stand in it and take action with it. Because I know many of you may feel inspired right now. And many of you will not do anything with this inspiration. But there is some of you that will actually write a plan. Because you feel so good right now. You will write a plan for yourself. And you will start taking care of that. You will take some action. And you will fail at that process of taking action. Only so you can learn what doesn't work, so you can do more of what works. And you will keep up with it. And with that, as I said at the beginning, you will start building and growing a positive momentum. Your focus and consistent daily effort to better yourself is generating a wave of positive momentum. And when you start doing that, you start noticing huge changes in your life. Huge changes start happening. And they don't depend on anything. Doesn't matter the position of the planet, doesn't matter of anything. Sure, those things influences us and inspire us in many ways. And sometimes tell us what not to do and what to do. But when you recognize that you can take responsibilities of many things in your life, you recognize that you are in power of that. And that's what makes you empowered, right? Not that you're in control of everything, because the nature has its own system that works best for all. And you need to recognize how to plug yourself to the rhythm of nature, to recognize, am I right now in the season of planting, like learning new lessons, learning new knowledge, studying courses, working with coaches, training something, whatever. Am I in the season of growing right now when I'm implementing that knowledge and trying new things and maybe failing at many things? Because failing is growing, nothing else, it's just growth. Am I in the season of blooming when I'm receiving results for my work and seeing does it satisfy me? Do I want to change something? Or am I in the season right now of dying when the old things are falling apart, old relationships are falling apart, and it is just, preparing a soil for new seeds, which means it's a season of letting go, of rest, of rejuvenation, of deep reflection, introspection, meditation, and acknowledgement of what we've learned through all these processes we've been through, start doing and finishing what we've learned through all these processes and how to implement it as we are leveling up. So my friends, recognize at what stage of this season you are right now, at what season you are right at this time, and recognize where it is taking you. Many of you may notice that huge cycles are ending for you because you're ascending and leveling up for the next one. Doesn't matter where you are, stay in tune with yourself, and you will always know at the right time what you need to do. Sometimes the right person will appear in your life. You know how it works. The right information will find you, not when you want, but when everything aligns. And at the right time, everything aligns. That's just how it works. So my friends, I hope this resonates with you. I hope you found something valuable today. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Thanks to everyone for supporting my art in our Etsy store. I Draw My Passion. Go there, check it out. The link is in the description of this video. If any painting resonates with you, it's a sign that it's for you. So check it out. If any sparks this coherence in your heart, it's a sign that it vibes with you. So maybe it will speak to you. Check it out. Thank you so much for that. And till next time, one love.